Facebook. Okay, there we go. Man, the mic is hot, just so you know. I just heard myself.
And we're back. What's good, Kenny?
What's up? What's up? What's up? What's up? It's Friday. We made it. We made it. We made it from last Friday to this Friday. So that's a good thing, right?
Absolutely, absolutely. So what's new in the world here? So we got something. We're talking about some Spotify new video creator platform. Tell me
Yeah.
about this
So
place. So is it just trying to compete with YouTube? Is it Spotify trying to get into the game against YouTube? Because I'm all for competition because we definitely need it.
I don't really think they're trying to compete with YouTube. Compete with YouTube is going to be a beast already. That's across the board for any other platform that
Uh huh.
allows people to put out their content and their
Yeah.
creations. But basically, they're making a push into giving video podcasters kind of what we do a little bit.
Uh huh.
They want them to come over to their platform and they are giving them ways to monetize their things, but it's mostly for podcast related things such as shows, things like that. I don't think it's really for like long form content in the sense of individual like videos and things. They haven't really released a lot of information on this, but that's what's going on right now. So Spotify is launching a new monetization program for video podcasts called Spotify Partner Program. It's no different from when you're on any other platform and you want to make affiliate or partner or anything like that, just so that when you are putting your content up, particularly with Spotify, your podcast content, since you are bringing people to the platform to listen or even view your stuff, they're going to give you a cut because you got to remember Spotify, just like YouTube, they're going to have ads, and ads is how you get the money, get the splits, and all that stuff. So that's how you become a partner. So that's one of the big interesting things that they're doing. So because I'm always looking for ways for us to expand and kind of do different things. And when I came across this, I'm like kind of interesting, but that would mean that the way we do what we do now would be more of a podcast show, even though we kind of do that now, but it's kind of like we're kind of a mishmash in between this and that and the other.
Yeah,
So
we
what you think?
are. We are. Man, once again, dude, I'm seeing that my voice is not coming through on here. It's what in the hell is going on with
Let me check something.
OBS? It's just fucking annoying.
No, your voice is coming through.
Well, I don't see it on here though. That's crazy. But my voice is coming through.
Yeah, I just checked one of the monitors. And your voice is coming through.
That is crazy. I don't see it on here at all. How's the voices sound on your end though?
It sounds good.
And you can hear yourself as well.
Yeah, I hear myself. I hear you. See?
What? OBS is crazy. Yeah, it's not even showing me my level, so I don't even know if my audio's on there. All right, cool. Uh, so yeah, so Spotify is opening it up for podcasts. I
Well,
thought
remember,
Spotify
Spotify
was.
already had the big deal of getting podcasts,
Yeah, I
but
thought
they're
they already
opening up
had
for
that. So they're trying to do
yes,
video podcasts now.
yes, because most podcasters do video podcasts,
Yeah, this
and
is true.
Spotify was just strictly for the audio.
Yeah. No, I mean this is true. All right, everything looks good on this end. That's so weird. That's so weird. Anyway, all right, moving on here. You got anything else you want to talk about Spotify before we hit to the next spot?
Well, I really want to get your idea on it. Like, what do you think? Do you think it's a good idea, bad idea? It's basically it's not competing with YouTube or any other platform, but it is allowing the people that make the podcast or audio stuff because most people, if you do one thing, you try to do it all. You'll do it on YouTube, you'll do it on Facebook, you'll do it on Twitch, all those things. So this is just them who were strictly an audio place to get the video side of it. And then they're still going to have the premium where you're not going to get the actual ads just like they do on YouTube. But it's a different way to kind of angle it, which I think is great and kind of good and creative. And I mean, if you are into this content creation space, it'll give you another avenue to some, income.
I mean, I'm all for it. I mean, I can't say I disagree with it. I would love to see more competition because the biggest thing with YouTube right now is that it's a lack of competition. With that lack of competition, people are at the whim of this institution here that I just think just doesn't respect the creators like it should. And I mean, I don't know if it's a good idea because Spotify also has its own problems. You know,
Hmm.
they're well known for not treating artists the way they should treat artists, and that could become a problem. And giving them more power. I mean, you gotta remember these are also institutions. These are corporations, and these corporations do not give a damn about the creators. It's all about making money. So I don't know, man. I really wish that there was an independent creator owned institution where the creators own what they do. They came together, the biggest creators came together that allowed the smaller creators to come inside, and it's creator owned. And we could just abandon these institutions right here. Because the biggest problem with these institutions is that YouTube makes decisions that are good for YouTube.
Hmm.
They sometimes make a decision that might help the creators.
Hmm.
But almost always, censorship probably is the biggest issue on YouTube. Just be honest. And the fact is, censorship of progressive voices, not censorship of radical far right, has absolute free will on YouTube. Because, like I said before, YouTube is created by capitalism, which is an institution of white supremacy. And so, what sounds normal is always going to get protected on YouTube. And that sounds normal. The things they talk about, the way they engage with the world sounds normal. Saying something like we should have, a capitalism that actually works for the average person, or we should have censorship that makes sense, but, to them sounds woke. That doesn't make sense to them. Like my brother said, he's like, a lot of these people, they just want to go back to a time where they could say things and there was no ramifications for what they say. And anybody who pushes against that is going to find issues on YouTube. And so, how would Spotify be any different when it comes to those things? I mean, honestly, I don't know much about the Spotify podcast, but I'm pretty sure if you're a small podcaster and you have far left progressive ideals and you challenge certain institutions, you'll get just as censored. So I mean, I don't know. I mean, I want to be, hopeful, but I also know how this all works, and I know how these institutions make decisions, and they make decisions based solely and almost always on advertisers, and advertisers are always going to make decisions based on the institutions that will always bring money to their pockets, and these institutions are corporations, and these corporations are driven by a particular type of white European capitalism, and so that is never going to go out its way to alienate certain voices. I mean, you can look at the state that we're in right now. I mean, people understand how messed up this country is about to become. Like, I don't think they understand it. Like when we get to the game, and I'll talk about gaming because there's a lot of complaints in gaming, and I'm like, y'all the ones that said y'all wanted this. Like the things you see in gaming, the problems you see in gaming, the pay to play you see in gaming, all the issues you see in gaming are not in a vacuum. It's a part of the institution that we all live in. It's a part of the organization. The way we organize our communities and the way we organize our country all play into the disenfranchisement or the leveling up of some voices against others. I mean, I really wish there was an opportunity for a lot of people to get in the game
Well,
and play on Spotify and YouTube. But honestly, I
well,
don't think there is.
Well, think about this, because when you mentioned like the big creators and stuff, they have Nebula. Nebula is a platform by the creators for the creators. But with that, I still see that it's the advantage of them making sure that they can, one, create their art the way they want to create it, or their content the way they want to create it. But the other part is too, for them to maintain that server or the servers that they have to charge money. I mean,
Well, yeah, no,
unless
I don't
you,
disagree with the charging the money. I don't think anything should be free. Don't get me wrong. I mean, I'm not talking about capitalism. Like that kind of capitalism actually makes sense. That kind of capitalism is like small business. You know, that mom
Mhm.
and pop store. You know, it's not based on incredible growth. It's based on that community, right? People who engage with that community, pay for that community, support that community. Just like your average just store. When it comes to a point where you have 8,000 stores, you no longer think about the community. You're more about how can I grow, 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 and what do I have to do to take advantage of this community? What do I have to do to my competition? Where these guys, they created a niche, but there's also a gatekeeper. You can't just walk in the nebula. You got to be invited into there. You got to ask for
Yeah.
permission to come inside. And see,
Yeah, and
therein
that's the
lies.
thing when you brought up the small creators. I'm like, so there's really no place for a small creator to go
No, there
if you
isn't.
haven't got that invite to that other place. So you got to stick with the big ones. I was like, turn my phone off. You got to stick with the big ones that make sure that if you're here, we're going to suck you dry for whatever you have, and we have extremely strict rules that we can kick you off of this as soon as possible compared to the other one. So I mean, one part is like I understand, and I'm glad that if you are doing podcast content and you can create, that you could go to some place like Spotify if you wanted to avoid YouTube altogether. But with
Yeah.
that same still understanding that Spotify is a business and it's going to try to figure a way to make sure that it's getting every dime penny outside of what you create for themselves, and that's just a big thing. So I'm more on the side of I think it's good, but I can understand how it's going to probably eventually become no different from a potential YouTube, and the same way that YouTube works is the same way it eventually is going to work, because just like you said, even on YouTube you got extreme voices that can spread a negative word. Even on Spotify you can have podcasts which already exist that will go over there and have a bigger platform that spread negative word, if that's the case.
Yeah, I mean that's really what the institution is right now. I mean that's what we're dealing with. We're dealing with institutions where we are, sadly, you're at the. We're dealing with a type of capitalism that incentivizes certain things and decentivizes others. And for you to compete, you have to take advantage of other people and you have to stand on their necks. And so when you have an institution like that, or you have a system like that, then you can't have anything that's going to be radically unique, right? Radically unique things do not survive in our type of system because that kind of art has to have an equal opportunity, and there's no such thing as equal opportunity. That's not a system that we actually breathe in or we exist in. You know, I think we killed this one. I think we can move on to our next thing here. Unless you want to say something
Yeah.
else.
Oh no, that's it.
I think that was a good point to bring up. I think that was an interesting thing. So you wanted to talk about the Cyberpunk 2077 secrets. Was it based on some of
Well,
the stuff I did or something you heard?
well, no, it's because all right. So this is what happened since on the other channel, the gaming channel, the Night City Vibes channel. Since I have been watching the videos and like looking at little things, all of a sudden all this other stuff started popping up. And I played Cyberpunk way long time ago, but I don't actively play Cyberpunk. So
Uh-huh.
then I started seeing all these things, and it was more of a chance to plug the other channel and also to see, hey, have you uncovered some of these things that all these people are talking about and everything that's happening? So one of the things that popped up was in players have discovered a hidden vehicle feature that allows certain vehicles tires to glow when the headlights are turned on. Apparently, this was like a thing, and I'm like, I just wouldn't everybody, but I guess
Yeah,
not.
yeah.
So
So I want to say I don't know, maybe 6 months ago, whenever they released 2.0 and 2.1 updates. So it's probably around the time when Phantom Liberty came out. There was this you can modify the color of your car, right? So first it
mhm.
was modify the color of your car. You could change the skin, but you can only change it on like one car, I believe, maybe two. I can't remember.
I remember we
And
made a
that
joke
was
about that.
something. Yeah, well, that was something people have been asking for a long time. Like, how do you have this game where GTA has already done this, where you can drive your car into like a dealership and get it
A body
change the
shop.
tires, change what it looks like,
Mm.
change the style, and that didn't exist in the Cyberpunk 2077. There was a short sight from them, a failure maybe if you call it that, the ability to stay up to date with the changing in gaming. So they finally released that, like, I don't know, 3 years after the game out. The game came out in 2020, so in 2023 they released this maybe, or is it 2024? I can't. It was probably 2024. So it was this year. And so then they released
That's a while.
another update. They released another update where you could now, because it happened on accident. Now this is the thing. It wasn't a part of the game. So what you define on other vehicles that weren't the one vehicle that you can modify its color, if you hit the modification button, it would change the color of the lights on the car,
Okay.
right? And so then, as people started messing around and testing it out on every vehicle, because there are a lot of cars in Cyberpunk 2077, there's probably 50 vehicles maybe that you can drive in Cyberpunk 2077. And so they found out that eventually certain vehicles, if you change the color of the lights, the color of the wheels change. It's a cool thing. To me, it's not much of a secret. It's more of a glitch that they didn't. Unforeseeable glitches in Cyberpunk 27 are just one in a million. There are so
No.
many of those. Now there are a lot of secrets in Cyberpunk 2077. There's a ARG in Cyberpunk 2077 that people have been playing out in real life where there are codes on different types of sculptures, and these sculptures are related to a theme or a secret story within Cyberpunk 2077 with the blue-eyed man. And then there are also just lots of secret areas. There's two secret clubs that you can get into. There's a bunch of secret gear. There's a bunch of secret missions. There are lots of secret missions in Cyberpunk 2077. If Cyberpunk really, I really enjoy the game. I still feel like the city at some point becomes a dead area because you can't go into every building, you can't open every door, and that would be kind of cool to be able to like sneak into these different businesses, these different corporations, and see
Well,
the grimy shit that they're doing. But you
well,
don't get to do
speaking of
that.
that,
Uh huh.
speaking of that, another one thing that popped across my timeline regarding Cyberpunk 2077. Did you know that there's a secret room located in Compiki Plaza during the opening chapter of the game? The room contains valuable gear and optional lore. That's another weird thing that popped up. Like, why is all this stuff coming? But I understand why because I was looking at the videos. So, did you know that?
I did not know about that part. Like, I played the game so many times, and now that I got to go into this secret area in the Kopeki Plaza. I tried to go into like all kinds of areas when I played that board, over the years, and it's none of it is out in the open, like, and I also feel like you're being pressured to move through Kopeki Plaza in a very fast way. The first time you play it, you don't really spend any time because you're thinking that you're under a time crunch, but really, there's no time window. You just eventually have to exit that place and get into the situation where you're fighting certain. I'm not going to spoil it. Certain people that are going to
So,
become. Go ahead.
oh, I was gonna say, so this is what the little thing said. So you can make a video on this. It might be a nice little clip. Instead of following Jackie to the exit, they say find a hole in the ceiling that takes you up and through a small security room, and that's where all the stuff is located at. I've never seen
What?
a video of it,
I never know.
so
I never noticed that there was a hole in the ceiling. I have to next time I go through there because I know. Interesting. So that's a very beginning, then, right?
yeah, they said at the beginning, Compeki Plaza, very beginning, before you follow Jackie to the exit, there's a hole in the ceiling. And this came across, and this is relatively new. So if this is some content that you can add to the thing to Night City vibes, I think that
Yeah,
would probably be
absolutely.
a
And
good thing to
I'm
try.
about to do another playthrough anyway. Also I have to do my the next essay for Cyberpunk 2077. I've been playing a lot of the Black Ops 6. I think I pretty much, I mean, other than finishing the campaign, which I'll do a video on the campaign, there's not a lot of story in Black Ops. So there's, I mean, I, I'm gonna do a video on the season one, talk about the unique gear in season one, and then probably be done with Black Ops and go back to Cyberpunk. But I also need to do my on the gaming channel. I also need to do the Andromeda, Mass Effect Andromeda essay, because I think that game's actually a masterpiece, and a lot of people uh, don't care for that game, but I believe it's a masterpiece, and I'm gonna show them. I'm gonna make my argument for why, and then I also need to do the Marvel Avengers essay. Now that that game has been free for the from the grifting of, like, the live service nonsense that was attached to that game. Once now you just all story and gear, it's actually kind of fun to play it. So, and there's a story there that needs to be told, and I need to knock that one out. And then there are a couple other new games. There's also this new game from Apple that looked like it looks like a Cyberpunk game in the arcade that I have to check out because I saw the video, and I don't usually watch YouTube commercials, but I watched that thing all the way through, and I was like, oh, I got to know more about this game. This game looks unique, so that's something that I need to bring up. I'll probably bring that up on another video of games. So I should create a probably once a week talk about games that people should check out, independent games or Apple Arcade games. Another thing, Netflix is closed down their video game corporation, or arm. So there was a time in Netflix that if you go on Netflix now, I think you can play games. I
Yeah,
don't
you
think I've
can.
ever played any games. Have you ever messed around with any of the games on Netflix?
Yeah, I play Rain on Netflix when I'm just chilling, like on the toilet.
Huh. So tell me about that game, because I haven't played any games on
It's a
Netflix.
very rudimentary game. Basically, you are a king born into time, and you got to make decisions on what you're doing with your money, your army, your people, and all those things. And it's
Huh.
how long you can maintain your reign. And all it is a card swiping game. You swipe the whoever comes to you with a question, and you got to make a decision. Swipe left or swipe right, and then when you do things, it affects your popularity, it affects your army, it affects your kingdom's money, it affects your people's health, and you're just trying to balance all these things out to see how long you can maintain your reigns. It's a
That is
very
actually
simple
pretty
game. It's
cool.
fun to me when I'm just like taking a dump or just doing nothing. Like if I have to go get my car worked on and I'm just sitting there and I can't play like an actual game like I'm running around and stuff. I can just sit there with my iPad and just they ask me the question. I swipe left, swipe right. And you see your little statistics go up and down based upon the decisions you make. Do you want to feed the people? Do you want to build a church? Do you want to barter with this tribe over here, or do you want to war with this tribe over here? And all these things you decide makes it go up and down. But it's a very simple game, and I play it from Netflix basically.
Huh. That is actually pretty cool. I did not know that was a thing.
Yeah. So if you have a Netflix account, you can get to the actual games, and they're very similar to like most mobile games, except
Uh-huh.
some of these I know they came from like Rain. I know was actually on console, so you can still get some of those decent games. You won't be bored. Let me put it that way. It's not just like playing Tetris forever and ever. Some of these games that have a little more thought into them, even though the graphics and stuff aren't like Cyberpunk 2077, but it at least keep you entertained if you can't have a game console with a whole controller and all that set up. If you just have something on your phone or your iPad, it's a quick, easy play.
Yeah, I didn't know there was a lot of games on there until recently. And then I got all these I got all these what you call it. What I was going to say. I got these invitations to different games on Netflix, and I honestly haven't been watching a lot of TV on Netflix. So I mean
Yeah.
Netflix, they cancel a lot of the shows that I like, and so therefore I kind of don't mess around with as much. But of course, we're about to get the next season of Stranger Things, and that's definitely something I'm looking forward to. And that's probably something that we're going to talk about in the next video, because there are two big shows that are out today that I think that people should watch over the weekend. And I'm definitely going to mess with both of them, because my favorite show, uh, and I'll say it. It is my favorite show. I really do enjoy. I enjoy this show. Um, did you want to talk about Cyberpunk 2077 anymore before we jump forward?
No, that was all. Just those two things. Like, did you know? Because it was just the fact that I know you played that a lot, and some people were like, "Hey, you didn't know you could turn the headlights on and the tire change." And people were like, "I played over 100 hours of this game. I never knew that." And then the thing about the secret room, and the secret room was more because I think that if I couldn't see any content on it, because I would have assumed that would have popped up shortly after. I don't think nobody's made any content on it. So if that was to be something you want to take a stab at, I would
Yeah,
be like,
no, I'm
"Okay,
definitely gonna do. I'm gonna do a replay anyway. I was gonna do one. I might as well start it now because I want to do a replay where because my essay. Look, if you guys like gaming essays and you like really intellectual gaming essays, not something like talking about the same nonsense that you know this game had glitches when it first came out. That's so what? That of course this game had glitches when it came out. That's old news. That's definitely not something worth making a video about. But I do really intellectual, like breaking down themes and behavior and ideas that are in Cyberpunk 2077. So you definitely should check that out on Night City Vibes, our YouTube gaming channel. I think it's really good. I got some cool stuff on there. It's very funny. There are funny things. There are serious things. This is worth checking out. With that said, I'm gonna move on to the Mike Tyson and Jake Paul fight. Is tonight. It's actually today, I believe. And what is your position on this one, dude? Because I first thought that Mike Tyson was going to win this fight, and now I'm thinking Mike Tyson might actually get knocked out. Now I don't think he's going to get knocked out, but it is more possible now than ever for Mike Tyson to take an L to this dude. He might even do it just to help this guy's career. I don't know, but I kind of feel like that because him and Jake Paul are cool.
and yeah, all right. So I remember when I reported on this, you was like, "What? Huh? No, that's stupid. That's silly." And then we both kind of agree it's just going to be a spectacle. Then there was a bunch of injuries and stuff that occurred to Mike Tyson and everything. They were still trying to promote it, make sure it still happened. And then finally, I guess today is the day it's going to go down. I'd be 100% real with you. I completely forgot about this and slightly lost interest
Dude, I didn't think
until
about it. I didn't know about it until I went. I accidentally. This is real talk. I accidentally hit the Netflix button on my TV remote, and it took me to Netflix, and it popped up in the. This was like 3 days ago, and it was the first thing that popped up. Like it had the Mike Tyson, Jake Paul, and said like November 15th or no, yeah November 15th live. You know, and I was like, oh, I swear to God, completely forgot and had not seen any advertisements for this. I've seen no advertisements for this at all on YouTube. Like no
yeah, I didn't see
commercials, no
any
one talking
advertisements,
about it.
anything.
Go
But
ahead.
it was funny because remember we talked about it on the show,
Like
and we
like
thought it was
months
hilarious. And
ago.
then we made a couple of videos about it, and some of them did very well. But after that, I completely forgot about it. And the only thing that every once in a while I would see something about Mike Tyson had an injury with something or something else, and then had to postpone. So that I know that happened twice. Um, yeah, I don't think this is going to be as authentic as I think people want it to be. I think it is going to be a very a very good exhibition fight with the intent that either Mike is going to show that he still got it with the understanding that, hey, Jake, how hard do you really want me to go? I'm not going to lose, but how hard do you want me to go? Compared to Jake, who may be like, man, come on, give me what you got. Because either way, it could be a thing. But I don't think it's with the intent of I'm really trying to go out there and re-jump start my career as Mike Tyson, or I'm going out there to boost Jake Paul up. Because him fighting me in this stage is still enough of enough. It's not that much of it's not real, but it's real enough. It's something to watch. It's something to be entertaining. It'll be a good exhibition, but I don't think it has anything to do with more than two friends just wanting to do something good and
They're
quote
trying to get
unquote
that
fun.
purse, dog. That's all they're trying to get that
Oh, that
bag.
part too. Yeah,
They're
it's
trying
quote
to
unquote.
get that
Yeah,
bag.
because
That
there's a bunch
bag.
of money involved.
There's a lot of money involved, man. Like kind of like when I sent you that thing last night when I was talking about like all these dudes, man, the shady stuff they're in. It's like it's crazy the shadiness all around Jake Paul and Mr. Beast and KSI and all these cats. I wouldn't be surprised if also MKHBD was stuck in some of this nonsense. I mean, I'm not gonna say he
Well,
is, but I wouldn't be surprised if all
I
these
will keep
cats
it.
were.
I will say I'm gonna keep it this simple. The one thing I began to understand a lot about this since we've been doing this, or since I've actually been engaged, paying attention, reading all these things and researching stuff and all that stuff. I think once you figure a way to make money on the internet and you have a certain fan base that can be influenced because they grew up on the internet and they're indoctrinated fully in the internet, it's
Mm-hmm.
easy to come up with anything else as long as it's something digital that you can portray that is being sold, especially if you already have an established reputation as somebody that already made it on the internet. That's what I see with a lot of the certain content creators, the way it operates. I think because I'm relatively still connected to old school ways of doing things, I take everything with like kind of a skepticism. But then I'm also like, well, if they're winning, they're winning. So there's only so much I could say and think differently of. But I also know that I'm not 100% like, oh no, I'm going to invest in crypto or I'm going to do this because I watched the Mr. Beast thing. But I get why that works. Because if I'm a kid and I seen this dude named Mr. Beast start a YouTube channel. I seen how he made his and all this stuff. Then he took the money that he did make and make candy bars and make bigger and better, videos. And then he tells me he's coming up with this other digital asset, which is a cryptocurrency. It makes sense to me if I was a kid and this is the person that I knew that is making it. But me
Yeah.
being an older person, I'm like, no, you got to get up and go to work, 9 to 5 it out or some shit like that. Then I look at it kind of differently. But I do understand that there's a group of people that would see this and understand. But that's also why I think sometimes they get involved in these questionable things, but it's only questionable because it's digital, and there's always a very hard way to try to prove that what you're getting is really what it is.
Yeah, absolutely. Enough said. You killed it right there.
But that's at least how I see it. But
Yeah, no, I agree
so, what do
with
you
you.
think about this? You didn't say what you think about this whole thing.
The Mike Tyson fight. I mean, I either it's going to be a straight up fight and Mike Tyson is going to do his best, or we're going to walk away saying that this was a waste of our time. Like that's and two things can happen here. One, Mike Tyson goes in there and really puts on a show and shows us that he's still the greatest of all time and puts this kid in the ground, or we're like, why is this old man in the ring? And that's not going to be good for his legacy. Like I said this, I think I said this a couple years ago. Like these kind of things, they tarnish your legacy. Jordan, a lot of people think he's the greatest of all time. I don't, because I remember him as 45. I remember how garbage he was. I watched him like he stayed too long. He should have walked away after his championship. When you end as a champion, you always a champion. You know who can do that? Tom Brady, champion. He walked off as a champion, did not have to come back. The boy won a Super Bowl and was like, all right, I got a bunch of Super Bowls. I don't need to do this no more. I'm the greatest of all time. Get at me. He didn't lose to
Who,
nobody. He didn't take no L's. He took his championship and said, all right, it's time to go.
which one did Mayweather fight? Was it the other brother?
I think Mayweather fought the other brother. But that's, what I'm saying? But he whipped his ass. So it was like,
Yeah, but
yeah, he
that's the
whipped
thing.
that dude's ass. Like, only reason he didn't knock him out because he was being friendly. But he was trying to hurt that kid. He whipped his ass and did nothing to it. Only thing he showed was Mayweather is still a beast. He will always be a monster. He took his bag, he whipped that boy's ass, and he walked off.
And that's what I'm thinking because if I'm thinking about when they do fight an actual boxer, an actual fighter, retired or not, how did it go? And I'm like, I remember Mayweather fought one of them, and I'm assuming it was the other brother. But yes, Mayweather still won, but it wasn't like the knockout or anything. Which
It wasn't a
is
knockout, but Mayweather don't usually knock anybody out. He
that
just
part is
whips
true too.
your ass. He whipped his. That boy did not want no more. Like by that fifth round, he didn't want no more. You could tell him when he was getting hit, it would hurt, and he didn't want no more. He was trying to hit Mayweather, couldn't get no shots on him. Mayweather ducking around, smacking him around. He ain't want no more fight.
So
Mayweather just
I'm
took it to the rounds because he knew he was gonna walk away with his bag. But you know what? They ain't friends. He don't talk about Mayweather like he cool. He don't be like, oh Mayweather, my friend. Y'all see him hanging out because he hate that dude. Cause that dude took him to the ring, waxed his ass, and nobody. And you know what? Real talk. When's the last time you talked about his brother, Jake Paul's brother? When's the last time you talked about him? Nobody talks about him. You know why?
I
Because
mean,
when you get your ass whipped like that in the ring, you become a loser. Even if you successful as hell and got pockets full of dough, nobody gives a fuck about you because you got your ass whipped. That's real talk. No matter how
So,
popular you think you get laid like he did and get abused like that. Nobody, everybody thinks you a loser.
all right. So final question: Who wins? Who loses? Or it comes out as a draw?
Mike Tyson has to win, or his legacy is going to be questioned. Everybody, ESPN, all these sportscasters, all these YouTubers are going to do videos about why Mike Tyson shouldn't have gone in there, how this messes up his career, and then there's going to be essays about how it compromised his legacy, and there's just going to be hours and hours of content around Mike Tyson. Now, Mike Tyson go in there and waxes his boy's ass, there's going to be nothing but legacy. There's going to be, yeah, 20 for 20s about how this almost 60-year-old man was Wax's boxer. Like, and then they're going to talk about all the other exhibition fights that Mike Tyson has done. And Mike Tyson has done exhibitions where, like, he was trying to hurt the other dude. Who was that? Who was the guy he fought a couple years ago? Exhibition fight where he got mad because he was like, Mike Tyson was trying to hurt me.
Was that Roy Jones Jr.? Because
Yeah,
Roy Jones
Roy
Jr.
Jones Jr. He was like, "Fuck Mike Tyson." He was trying to hurt me. He was trying to like hurt me and knock me out. This was an exhibition fight. This was supposed to be fun. And Mike Tyson went in there like trying to destroy that man, hitting him so hard that his soul was going in and out of his body every time he got hit.
Roy Jones
So
was a beast back in his time too.
he
So I don't
was,
know. I
but
guess
he
he
didn't
just
give
fights
Mike
different
Tyson
times.
none of that heat. Mike Tyson didn't take none of that heat. Mike Tyson gave it all to Roy Jones Jr. And now, when's the last time you talked about Roy Jones Jr.?
Right now.
Exactly. And the last time
It
we
came
talk
out
about
right
him
now.
is when he was getting his ass pounded by Mike Tyson in the ring. You don't want to be that guy. You don't want to be that guy. So Mike Tyson,
So
he better bring his A game. He better be in the best shape of his life. He better be eating well. He better be in the right mindset. He need to talk to his therapist. He need to do all the right things. Otherwise, we're gonna be talking about Mike Tyson getting abused by this dude and Jake Paul like putting himself in an echelon that he don't deserve to be in my opinion.
all right, cool. Well, there you have it, folks. That's on Netflix tonight.
Yes, it is. All right. Oh, Kendrick Lamar. So we had this conversation because I was like, could Kendrick Lamar get a Grammy? And you was like, well, no, he didn't really release this song on the standard areas. He released it like on YouTube and on, not Spotify, but
Well,
what was the other one?
YouTube, TikTok, Instagram. So
Yeah,
there's weird things happening with the whole. We kind of talked about this when we talking about the other when we did our last video last Friday. It's some weird stuff going on in the music industry. Like right now, I would not want to be a musician. It's
yeah.
too much odd shit from how you get paid to how your music get released to if you can release it here, can't release it there. If you do have a great body of work, is it going to get nominated for a Grammy based upon where you released it? Behind the scenes, there's some stuff that happened to make this work this way because it's kind of like yeah, and so I'm gonna let it rock. So got what you got. I kind of read some articles on it real quick. So what you got?
I'm in the same position you are, man. I just don't fucking know. Like, I'm all for it. Don't get me wrong. I like Kendrick Lamar. I'll be real with you. It seems like they trying to
Wait.
destroy.
See, hold on. Do you like Kendrick Lamar or you don't like Kendrick Lamar? Because you always bounce back and
I don't
forth
like
with
his
some.
Hotep bullshit. Don't get me wrong. I like the
Okay.
music. All right. I don't like the Hotep, bullshit, that fakery, that nonsense, because that's just not what black people are. Just stop pretending like we're some.
So
We're not holier
I'm
than
giving you a
hell.
mental
Let's just
note
be
right now.
real.
So mental note, you do like Kendrick Lamar's music.
I like his music. I don't care for like that Hotep bullshit. I'm not for it. I'm not about it.
Okay.
Just I
Okay.
don't want to hear it. Shut the fuck up. But but here's my thing though. I feel like there is a. It's like I feel like if you tell me the truth, if you told me tomorrow that the industry is going after Drake for Drake trying to own his shit, trying to own his own music. Like if it comes out at some point where the reason why the industry is allowing this to happen to Drake is because Drake tried to put himself in a position where he could own his masters or he could own everything he does, or he was trying to create his own label, or he was trying to become this super mogul, and they see that happening. They see him owning a basketball team. They see him creating maybe his own record labels where they have no influence on him, and so to destroy him, they're going through and using Kendrick Lamar, who at a moment is not. a concerted effort, but the enemy of my enemy is my friend. If you told me that that was happening, I wouldn't even doubt you. Because it does seem like there's a concerted effort to really go after Drake. Like this, him getting this Grammy nomination is a shot at Drake. Him at the Super Bowl is a shot at Drake. Like everything he's doing, and if you told me, if you had said this 10 years, or even 5 years ago, that this was going to happen to Drake, nobody would believe you because when Drake got in the beefs, he never suffered any L's, right?
No.
None. And then suddenly,
Well,
right here, and this is
technically, Pusha T got Drake,
well,
but
yeah, but
Drake
okay, you're
Drake
right.
was
Pusha T,
star.
but a lot of people feel like Pusha T crossed the line by going after his son Adnan, and that's why it didn't destroy Drake because it was like, yo, that's too personal. You know what I'm saying? Like going after his family. But Drake
And
didn't get that message. Where Drake fucked up is he didn't get that message because he went after Kendrick Lamar's family, and that's what fucked him, right?
yeah,
But once there's blood in the water, the sharks will show up. And those sharks is, you know, corporate music. And they know that Drake's a threat. Like, of all artists, even Jay-Z knows his role. Jay-Z knows who to say yes to and who to say no to. And Drake was like, nah, fuck y'all. I'm richer than all y'all. Like, nah, fuck that. I'm gonna run the whole fucking world. And you ain't gonna tell me shit. And he tried. He did. He was doing it too. He was doing it. He was like, I'm gonna take someone else's music and I'm gonna make it sound like it's mine. I'm gonna be a vulture and ain't nobody gonna be able to do shit to me. And he was doing it. Then he was like, I'm gonna make millions, billions of dollars. I'm gonna destroy the corporate system that exists. Like he didn't say he was gonna do it, but he just did it in all his actions and the way he was raising up Toronto, where he had his influence. I mean, the dude supposedly gave $1 million to Young Thug so he could stay hyped in Atlanta. Like he flew to Atlanta and handed a man a bag of $1 million to stay in the graces, the good graces of Atlanta. Like, I mean, I don't, that shit crazy, bro. Right?
yeah, it's
So the
crazy, but
politics that's going on in music right now, you ain't lie about it because it is just it's probably worse than it was when Tupac was doing music. Like I mean, there were vultures and you weren't getting your ends, but it wasn't like this. I think it's gotten worse and it's way more caustic and way more toxic. It's like now, man, you pick it. You should pick a niche and not even move out that niche. If you are Spotify or like one of those upload sites rapper, you shouldn't even fuck around and do nothing else because once you start doing that, all these vultures show up and start digging in your pockets or start threatening you, or all of a sudden you start catching cases on bullshit that you would never caught a case on just so they can control you and stick you in your house and have you sing into their AI robots so they can teach their algorithm how
you really just
to create a whole new fucking artist and make $1 billion.
well,
Like,
I want to say when you were going on your dialogue, one thing that I think is completely different. I so Drake he did work out a deal with his music company, so he was making a lot of money. Drake did big up people like J. Cole and Kendrick in a certain way. But that was the whole thing that always had been a rumor until it really came out this time around. Is that, like we said, they always shoot little subliminals at each other. But that was part of the friendly competition thing. But apparently, like I said earlier, or on the other videos, there was some negative beef between Drake and Kendrick. But it was still like, no, we're all we they were the quote unquote the top three. What happened, in my opinion, just reflecting on it, is when Drake really felt like I'm gonna get J. Cole with me, and J. Cole like I'm the man too, and Drake was like, yeah, you the man too. But then Drake kind of looked at it like, you know how in the office how they can say something and just look at the camera real quick, and they're like, yeah, right.
you know what I think? Honestly, I think this beef is an offshoot of the conflict between Drake and Kanye West. I was listening to Sean. Yeah, let me bring you there. Let me bring you there. So this is what happened. Drake has always been a man about his feelings, right?
So
Always.
is Kanye. So is Kanye.
And so is Kanye, right? There was a moment where Drake did a song with Big Sean, and
Hmm.
it was supposed to come out. They had done their back and forth, whatever, and then Kanye West comes in there and blows that shit all up. Like gets in his feelings and his bullshit, and then he starts going out his way to like undermine Drake wherever he
Okay.
can, right?
Okay.
And so, in my opinion, all this stuff that's going on with Drake is out. If you told me Kanye was in the background whispering in people's ears like, "Yo, blah blah blah," you know what Drake trying to take over your record label. He trying to undermine you guys. I would not disbelieve it because Kanye
That's
West is a petty little bitch. He
Oh
is
no, Drake is pettier than Kanye. Kanye is a crybaby in my opinion. If I'm using brutal
okay.
words the way I perceive these two men are, Drake is the petty one. Kanye is just a crybaby.
Yeah, Kanye a crybaby. With Kanye a crybaby who has a lot of influence and background with institutions. And I really feel like there's someone bigger than both Drake and Kendrick Lamar in the background just tugging on strings. Because this is too perfect. This is too perfect. Like,
No, you
okay,
know what the
a
crazy
song that
shit
shouldn't be even up for a Grammy, suddenly someone pulls a string or two
and
and
gives it
is
up.
available for a Grammy, like that whispers of a monster in the background, whether that's Kanye or Jay-Z or Universal Music. There's
Hey,
somebody
look,
back there pulling on strings, man.
that's what I was about to hit on. Hey, look, if you want to go down this crazy rabbit hole, the next person in line would be like Jay Z. Jay Z generally does not fuck with Kanye the same way. Him and Drake have had an on and off thing. He's the one that is in charge of the music talent for the NFL as of right now. That's why it's been all hip hop acts. He's the one that would have said, "Hey, boom, 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 shift it around." Even though we're in New Orleans, we don't want Weezy. Weezy's connected to Drake. Let's go with Kendrick. Boom, boom, boom. Hey, this is crazy hypotheticals, but there is connections there that would
No,
say, "Hey,
I agree with you. I agree with you.
no,
It's
this
somebody.
is just far fetched, made up
But do
shit
you
that I
think?
don't
But see, I
that
just
I
don't
fuck with."
see. Do you think Jay Z has the ability to pull strings in the Grammy nomination area? I don't
Yes,
think so. You think so? Because
yes.
if that was
That's why
true,
the last couple of wins are very much orientated towards hip hop and stuff.
all right, I'll
It's
give that
weird
to you.
because
Because
Jay
this
Z is the
song's
one who always
it's
puts
up
his
for
stamp
album
on
of
it.
the year, right?
No, because it's not an actual album. He hasn't dropped this. Kendrick Lamar hasn't dropped
Who's up
this
for
single.
album of the year this year? It's got. I thought it was a hip hop artist that's up for album of the
The
year.
year. Hold on, I can check right quick. Hold on, let me. Grammy album of the year for. Like, why don't they even have 2025 up yet? Grammy nomination 2025 complete list of nominees. All right, 7 days ago. Um, what the fuck? They don't. Wait, what is this? Okay, no, record of the year. They don't have album of the year yet, but they do have record of the year. So on record of the year, they currently have Now and Then by the Beatles, Texas Hold'em by Beyonce, Espresso by Sabrina Carpenter, 360 by Charlie XCX, Birds of a Feather by Billie Eilish, Not Like Us, Kendrick Lamar, Good Luck Babe, Chappelle
Yeah,
Roan,
see what I'm saying?
Chapel
That's
Roan,
crazy.
and
So it's
Billie
up for
Eilish.
record of the year, not
Record
like
of the
us.
year.
It's record of the
Record of
year,
the year.
bro.
Right.
Do you think it's gonna lose? No.
Uh,
No, I think he's gonna end up with this record of the year, and they're gonna play it, and then he gonna walk out on stage and he gonna do that song live. It's all a stab at Drake.
oh wait, hold on. They do got album of the year. My bad, I didn't go all the way down. So album of the year, New Blue Sun, Andre 3000, that fluke shit.
All right,
Cowboy
okay.
Carter Beyonce, Short and Sweet by Sabrina Carpenter, Brat by Charlie XCX, The Jesse Volume 4 by Jacob Collier, Hit Me Hard and Soft by Billie Eilish, The Rise and Fall of the Midwest Princess, Chapel Roan, and Tortured Poets Department Taylor Swift. Those are the
All
albums. Yeah,
right, so that's
yeah.
the album of the year.
Also,
All right,
Kendrick
cool.
he hasn't released an album, so he can't be for album of the year.
Yeah,
Now, record of the
no, he
year.
couldn't be for album of the year. All right, so that's my thought on that shit. I ain't gonna hammer anymore. I'm not gonna put anything in the ether that ain't in the ether already. But to me, I feel like there's definitely a lot of strings being plucked and massaged. And I think this is all shots at Drake. Like this is all to end Drake. Like I think someone's really trying to put that man's career in the ground. And honestly, his last album Did you listen to it?
Yeah, we talked about
No,
it.
I said, do you listen to it? Not did you
Oh,
listen
do
to
I?
it? Do you
I'm not a
listen to
Drake
it?
fan. I
Yeah.
will listen to Drake music when it's like on the radio or if I'm in a club or a bar or something like that. But I am not a person that goes out of my way to listen to Drake's music. Like I don't have any Drake albums or anything downloaded. But I know Drake songs. Don't get me wrong. And if it's on the radio or playing in the mix, I'll hear it. But I never have went out of my way to, other than when we're doing something for the channel, to go and review something that Drake has put out. But no, I've never really been a Drake fan. I've always said that. To me, he's an actor that acts like a good rapper, and people love it and believe it until a real rapper comes along,
I don't even
Kendrick
remember
or
it.
Pusha T.
I don't even remember a song from it. Not even one.
Oh, Slide for You. No, that's 21 Savage. My bad. Uh, no, because Rich Baby Daddy. That's that's Sexy Red. See, yeah, I can't remember any songs from it. I know the song that he's
Exactly.
on,
I
but
know
yeah,
that he has an album. I bet you if I went on YouTube, it's there. I just don't
oh, of course
care.
it's there. But
Anyway,
yeah,
moving on
so
to what to watch this weekend. We got Dune Prophecy on Max. Definitely gonna watch it because I love Dune. I love the last two Dunes. It was really good, and now we're getting the opportunity to see a offshoot of that story with Dune Prophecy. I really look forward to seeing the ambiance. Hopefully, there's a lot of good sound design. That's one of the things that really sets Dune aside is sound design. Woo, can't wait. And then we get to find out Silo, like, what is this next season? Because remember at the end of last season, when she walks out the door, I'm like, yo, we don't need to tell any more stories because I don't want this to turn into like a The Walking Dead. Not that there's zombies out there, but you know, The Walking Dead had a really good first season, maybe really good second season, and then after that, man, it was repetitive as hell. Like, what story is there to tell? We realized that there was some cataclysmic event. These people lived inside these silos. These silos are connected to other silos, and these people were exiled. And so this is kind of like a, you know, like a metaphor for religion, maybe, or a metaphor for the big thinkers within institutions that are rigid. And then when you challenge those institutions, you are rejected by them or you are exiled from them, and you have to go off and create your own world. That's could end it in one season. And with that kind of metaphor, I don't know how you tell another story that is as good if and that is as good as the ending. Even though I have my qualms with it, with like not telling the story in a straight line, we always jumping back and forth. I had whiplash. One moment I'm in the past, next I'm in the future, back in the past, in the future, yesterday, 2 weeks ago, a month ago, someone else's perspective. Like it was just doing so much. It was doing
yeah,
so much. It was just jumping back and forth so quickly, and it didn't like tell you that it was like it didn't go at the bottom and go 5 years ago or 6 months ago. It just was there without any idea where in time you are. So you couldn't create a timeline and be like, this is the timeline. You just had no goddamn idea. You could have been 1 week. I mean, there were times where like she's been a sheriff for 2 weeks, and all this shit happened in 2 weeks. Like, yo, son.
no, remember, I'm the person that kept track of that. I'm like, wait a minute, all these murder, like she's either a horrible sheriff or this silo is fucked up because it that's the only gripe I have with this show is if if I take the time to watch it, like I don't mind if they continue want to tell a story. Let me say that if they want to go further and tell more of a story about what's going on, I'm all for that.
Mm-hmm.
But I would love if this season does just tell the story as of all right, cool, she's out of the silo, everything is forward from here. I will respect that. I don't want to see she's out of the silo and then we do a flashback to the right before she said,
Oh,
"Before I
if we do it, man, I promise you to God, if they do that, man, I'm gonna be so annoyed. If we're like out and she's doing something and suddenly she has a flashback, or we're going back to the silo through her perspective. Like I'm okay going back to the silo through the perspective of those who are in the silo, but don't take me back to the silo and like there's some like like a week and a half before she got kicked out of the silo. There's a whole storyline that they could
yeah,
just
that's cool.
told.
I do not."
If you fucking do that, I swear to God, I'm gonna be pissed. Like restart this If we start this first episode and we're in the silo again, I'm gonna be livid. I'm gonna throw a fit.
No, I'm gonna watch this first episode. I'm gonna watch it, and then I know we're gonna talk about it next Friday. And I'm gonna
Yeah.
say either I'm in, and we can put this as a part of what we talk about on the show, or I'm like, nah, this ain't gonna be worth my time. I may watch it, but I'm not. I don't feel like talking about this because, and also I don't want to make it a complete separate thing like we did the first time because that was like super deep dive. Even though those were good videos and they got some traction, but I mean,
Hmm.
if it's not as good as I want it to be, if they're not telling a story for it, then I'm not gonna like it. I can tell you that already.
Absolutely, man.
You got some type of asset on the screen that's showing video right now. And the new Dune, I haven't even seen any of the new Dunes at all.
Actually, let me just.
You got anything else?
No, no, I'm gonna show this AI thing. I want to do it. I got it here. I'm gonna show it. Paste that in. Oh, right there's that. Push pause here. I'm not gonna play it yet. Alrighty, all right. So, like I said, I was messing around with AI. We're moving on from the videos. I want to just hit this AI thing real quick because this is crazy to me. Crazy. So, messing around with AI last night. Let's putting stuff in there. I had these photos that I had rendered in a application called CG Dream, I believe it's called. Let me make sure it's what it's called. Yeah, CG Dream. I created these texts to photos and it rendered these pictures for me, right? Then I took these and put them into a text to video. And I told it like what I want these pictures to do. These are still pictures. They have no motion, no action to them. Then I told it to turn it into a video, and this is what it created, man. Let me turn off the music. AI is freaking crazy, man.
So you hear the music.
Hold on, wrong thing, my bad. I put it on the wrong thing. Let me hit it. A new kind of love, these are still photos turned to video. I told it to smile and look at the camera. This was a photo that I had, and I made turned it to life. You can see that the AI has no idea what to do with hands. But dude, this is great. The eyes opening and closing.
In the middle of the night,
now,
feeling like someone's watching you.
After I did that, I'm gonna play it one more time because to me this is astonishing that AI is able to do this. This to me is crazy, dude. I took a photo and I brought it to life, and it's high fidelity. Like it's higher. To me, this is more real than real. Like this right here, dude. This is a photo. This is not a real person. This is something I made up. Like I told it to create a marble woman.
Have you ever woken up in the middle
but
of the
then the
night
next thing I said,
feeling like...
all right, so then if this is a thing, then maybe, you know, that script I was talking about, I said, all right, I got this script. I've been working on this script. I want to see if AI can realize the theme that I'm going for with this. And this is what it produced, man. It's fucking crazy.
Have you ever woken up in the middle of the night feeling like someone's watching you? You know that unsettling sensation when you sense a pair of eyes fixated on you from the darkest corner of your room. That's not just paranoia. That's something much deeper. Imagine those eyes, glowing red, piercing through the shadows. They're more than just figments of your imagination. They're a manifestation of our own indifference. We left the door open for them, and now they're here, waiting for the perfect moment to strike. These red-eyed watchers lurk in the crevices of our subconscious, feeding off our apathy. Every time we ignore a cry for help or turn a blind eye to someone suffering, we give them more power. Our lack of empathy, our cold-heartedness has given birth to their existence. The darkness harbors many secrets, but these entities, they're the shadows of our collective guilt and neglect. They thrive in the absence of compassion, growing stronger with every act of indifference. Have you ever stared into the darkness for so long that you start to see shapes forming? Those shapes, those eyes, they're a reminder of what we've become. Each unblinking stare a silent accusation, a promise of our own destruction. We asked for this. In our quest for self-preservation, we've neglected the very essence of our humanity. The more we isolate ourselves, the more we fuel these red-eyed spectres. They are a reflection of our own failings, a constant reminder that our nightmares are of our own making. Next time you feel that chill, that sense of being watched, remember, they're there because we let them in. They are the dark echo of our empathy's absence, and they're waiting. The question is, what will you do to keep them at bay? Will you start caring, start feeling again? Or will you let the red eyes consume us all? The choice is yours. Red eyes in the dark, our nightmare awaits. Are you ready to face it?
So, bro, I was like, it really caught the theme. Like, it really understood the theme. Of course, it's stock video, but the theme, the eeriness, the indictment of society, because really that's what the screenplay is about. But it's through our apathy, something evil rises in society that then we cannot defeat. And so then we're just left in waiting for it to come get us, right? And bro, this thing, like, I sent the script, the word script to my brother, and I sent him this AI video, and he was like, dude, this is like 80%. He's like, this got you 80% there. 80% easy. I was just like, yo, that's crazy. I did another one where I took a essay that I did in college and I put it into this algorithm. Dude, what came out was so well done that I wish I had this tool to play it in the classroom. I would have got a standing ovation.
Okay.
Swear to God, swear to God. Like, it was, you know how you watch this like science channel, like YouTube science channels where you have these people who talk about like ethics and all these deep ideas, and they have this video, they have the a video that plays that expresses that idea. This thing was beyond perfect. I didn't even play it here because honestly, I feel like if we put it on YouTube, it would end up with 1 million views. I just have no place to put it. I have no channel to put it on. Like, no doubt we could get, dude, if we put that video on there, somebody would be like, oh, I have to share this with somebody else. Like, I'll send it to you first, and then we can figure out how to work with it or figure out what to do with it. Because honestly, dude, it's that good. It's that good. It really is. And I sat back, I watched it 4 times. It's like, dog, I wish I had this for school because I would have just played this video. I mean, I had to go up in front of the class and explain it and do if I could just, I had a PowerPoint and everything that I had to go through. But this was better than a PowerPoint because it used visuals. It understood and it had chapters. Kenny, it had chapters. It cut itself up in chapters. And each chapter was on one of the subjects. I was like, yo, what the fuck? This is dope. Didn't want to pay for the thing. I'm not paying monthly to have this ability. I mean, but if the video did 1 million views, I would pay monthly because I have all these papers and all these stories that I wrote up in my notes that I could just plug right in and upload to YouTube. And yeah, say, hey, this is AI generated stock footage, but these are my ideas. All of this was written by me, and boom, and share it and convey these things. Now, I also did it with one of my gaming videos, right? So I took the essay from one of the Cyberpunk 2027 videos, and I put it in there, and it was god awful. But it knew that it was a game. Like, it knew that it was a game, didn't know what game it was. There are some things that you're just going to have to do yourself. Like, when I do an essay for my gaming stuff, like, I'm going to have to edit that and put that together to convey what I'm trying to convey. But when it's abstract stuff like the like conversations or essays on, Machiavelli, or the essay about, social engineering, which this video was about. It's about social engineering and how social engineering is used and how it corrupts you, and then how to reject it. And I got an A on that paper in school. And so obviously it was an A paper because what it spit out through this AI was on that level. The paper was so well written and so well thought out that the AI had the ability to convey that idea in a very effective way. So I'm gonna put it up. I'm gonna send it to you. I'm gonna put it in the Dropbox or something so you
So
can check it out.
basically, you need to, as much as you are working towards the future and using AI, you're probably going to have to start hustling backwards. You're going to have to take this video that you created, you think will be worth 1 million views, burn it to CDs, and start selling it out the trunk of your car. Got to, because you want to get it out there, and you can't put it on any platform because of whatever reasons. That's the best way to do it.
I mean, I can put it. I mean, I own the video. I can put it like the video is all just stock. It's all stock footage, and you have a license to use it. So they say you have the license to use it. You can, and it was generated for YouTube. So when I put that, I wanted to put it on YouTube, so it generated a video that can be played on YouTube. And so all the stuff that's on there wouldn't get a copyright or anything like that. But it's so good. It's so good. So I gotta do some editing, and the sound is kind of weird on iffy on it. So I gotta like fuck with the sound. Maybe I gotta re-upload it. I don't know. But with that said, man, that's the end of the show. Uh, AI is crazy. Check out our new AI channel, our future AI channel. And share with everyone you know. It's definitely gonna be cool. But then I also have all those poetry. Remember all that? Remember the poetry channel that I created? I have all that poetry. If I could take that and put that into an AI generator, because remember there was a time when we had the AI shorts. Remember I used to take my poetry and put into the AI shorts and then put them up on YouTube, and they got like hundreds of views. I know you probably don't remember, but there was a time on shorts that I had this AI like
You talking
generator.
about when we were doing the Lady and the Penguin?
Yeah, the lady and the penguin. The lady and the penguin was weird as hell, but that was
It was
just
just
like
dumb
different
shit
poet.
that you came up with, and you told me to do something with it. So I'm like, fuck it, I'll just do this with it.
Dude, it got views though. It got hundreds of views.
That shit was.
It was
I'm
weird.
focused on. I want to do this. I like this show. To me, you're coming up with a bunch of things. When I'm like, focus on the one, get that one off the ground, then you can move to the next one. Because right now you done brought up the gaming, the AI poetry, the
But
AI essays.
the gaming channel, the gaming channel is going to do fine. You know what I'm saying? We got the gaming channel. It's going to do a thing. But dude, this when I send it to you, you're going to be like, all right, I can see where this
We'll
is stuff
see.
that's
We'll see.
it's stuff that you see on YouTube that is actually thrown in your face constantly. Like YouTube would take this video and put it in front of people on purpose just because it's the exact kind of thing that YouTube is constantly throwing in the face of people to watch. I'll
I
send it
don't
to
know.
you.
I don't know.
All
All
right,
right.
with that said,
Uh,
check us out, people. Like, share, subscribe. That's the show. We'll catch you guys on the next one. Kenny, you got anything you want to say before we leave?
yeah, just shout out to anybody that watch over on Kick, Twitch, Facebook. Please come over onto YouTube, give us a like, give us a follow. We're trying to build this channel back up. As you know, D said we got the Night City Vibes channel. That's the gaming channel. A lot of Cyberpunk 2077 and also what Call of Duty. Yeah. So thank y'all for being here. Greatly appreciate it. Hopefully you want to spend your Fridays with us more often. We're 11:30 Eastern Standard Time, 9:30 Pacific Standard Time, and y'all have a good, safe, good weekend. Kenny with
All right,
Dianoia.
guys.